Okay. That can happen in a work environment is that your manager or even your team leader isn't as good as you wanted him to be. My manager was kind of a toxic person at that time. One of the things that I think he was very bad at was managing everyone, person, how can I say, micromanaging. And he was doing something that, when a manager wants you to do a task, I think the right way is that he tell you, okay, this is the task, and if you have any questions, you can tell me, or if it is a new task that you never done before, here is this explanation about this task, and here are some instructions that you can do doing that task. But he was doing a micromanagement thing that he walked through every little steps that someone wanted to do something. For example, even very little, do this title like this, do this step like this, and it was driving everyone crazy. And I think it was one of my worst experience that can happen to anyone, because the manager is kind of the heart of the team, the heart of the company, and he should be the person that that match everyone, that if you have something to if you have some problem, you can go to him, you can tell everything to them. But it wasn't like this for me at that time. And I think one of my experience was like this. But I want you to tell your point of view on an ideal and great work environment, and it would be a great if you tell us an experience of yours. Please feel free to share your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you so much, Satay. Well, for me, I would say maybe a great working environment would be one that is, first of all, where people are treated fairly, where there is no, what I would call it, maybe like prejudice, or maybe like certain people are treated a certain kind of way, and then other people are treated a certain kind of way. So I feel like there has to be that fairness, in a way that, everyone who comes in this place is a human being. So there has to be just that respect that, we need to have for people. And maybe the second thing would be, there have to be, opportunities to grow. You need to feel like maybe every year or every other, I don't know, whatever, like that you're growing. No one wants to feel like they're doing the same thing year in, year out. I think that's also important, to have those opportunities for people to be able to grow. And yeah, I think maybe the third thing would be also just having that, I think you mentioned something about like work-life balance, like a company that, understands that, everyone has lives outside work, and not expecting you to work like odd hours and things like that. Yeah, I think there has to be that understanding. And I would say, yeah, I think those would be like the major things for me. And maybe like a bad experience that I've had work, I think, was my very first place that I worked at after graduating. And so when I that school, I'd done computer science, studied in software. Now most companies at that time, like maybe you go to a company and you find that the company has 90% of the people who work there, like on the side of the tech side, 90% of the people, not even 90, maybe like 95, 98 are men, you know. So most of the women were like in HR, doing other things. Now, how it used to be was, and this was like I was working, I joined to work for the government, was a government institution under the government of Uganda. So how it was that for the team, you know, there was a different sort of like building for those who are in the tech, and then there was like a different building for like administration, which was where most of the women were. Yeah. So when I got in there, and this was my very first job, I think it was a culture, okay, not really a culture shock, because even in class, really, in my class, we were like 80% were boys and only 20% were ladies. So it wasn't really like a shock, but like how people, I think the shock was really how men, you know, used to treat women there. It was a shock because anyway, I guess they were too used to just be, I think, guys alone. And yeah, I think it was one of the places I worked at for the shortest time. Yeah. And I remember I used to tell, you know, my parents at that time, I was living with my parents, and I used to tell my parents, you know, I don't think I can work at this place. You know, it's not like the best culture, but of course it was in the government, and, you know, they're telling you, no, you know, there are opportunities to grow and things like that. But for me, like even the person who was like managing me immediately, like my immediate manager, he was just a very very weird gentleman. And, you know, I told my mom that, you know what, I don't think I can work here. So that's how I actually ended up leaving. But yes, it was like a great opportunity. But because, you know, you're working for the government, and, you know, there's so many opportunities to grow. But honestly, I just felt like I could not, you know, stay there for long, just because of how, you know, the organization was. And actually, even when I joined the workplace, you know, when you join a workplace and you have a boss, and everyone there is even warning you about your boss. Yeah. And the fact that it's government, it's not really like a private sort of organization where maybe you can speak to somebody. You know, when it comes to government, there are a lot of protocols, you know, to be able to change a manager. You know, I don't know, there would be so many protocols you'd have to like go through. Yeah, so really my time there was very short-lived, and yet it was actually my brother who had told me to like apply there, and my brother had actually thrived in that place, you know, because I guess, you know, he's a gentleman, he had thrived, but for me, I just really failed to, yeah, to grow there. So that was like not a very good experience for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you experience. You know, sometimes we keep telling ourselves that, okay, tolerate this situation, something good will happen and you can improve. But after a while, that sometimes passes, and you see that even if you have the opportunity to grow, but because that toxic work environment, you will not be happy. And I think this is the most important thing. Even if you have a good opportunity, but you are not treated well, it isn't worth it, I think. Yeah, I really can understand you, because I had the same experience in that company that I told you. And it was actually a great company to improve and grow, but the work environment wasn't really good. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. And next person that wants to share with us can feel free to talk.
Yeah, let me go next. I think the topic is great work environment, if I got it properly. And quite a great, a big topic. Great work environment and experiences. Yeah, I think in order to get this great work environment, as you mentioned before, yes, you would say it would be paced by the top, really, because it depends on the top management. Number of number of companies that have got great environment actually have got these in common. They are efficient. They take their customers. They invest them. They look after the customers very well, and actually they grow. I mean, yeah, and then then people who work there feel like it's home. In fact, as you were saying, Satere, I just thought about a work environment being like home. Think of a home. If you are really in your home and you don't really like the home, then you can see how stressful you can be. And so that work environment, yeah, in quite a number of cases, it is paced or it is brought about by the top. I mean, the kind of the management, and I think to me is like we are, say, for example, just taking a simple example here, we are about 40 hours in the workplace, and therefore 40 hours a week in the work, 40 hours a week in the workplace, and you are coming from your home, you are getting into this place, which is a second home, and therefore it has got to have that kind of friendliness. It has got to have whereby you are looking forward to it, looking forward to relationships at work, with the managers, or with the senior people, or with the colleagues. And I think, and then all the time you are expecting, you are enthused, you are expectant of something new, and even there is that kind of friendliness and help, and I mean, you don't feel stressed, or you don't feel like, why should I be in this place? You see, that's, I think, the best work environment, where all the time there is something new to learn, and you look forward. I mean, because like Linda, as you mentioned, that your parents were telling you, oh, you just stay there, their promotions and so on. Actually, because of this available situation, you couldn't just stay on, because of it wasn't about looking for a high fruit which is yet to will be low later. You wanted that fruit immediately, which would keep you on, which is a nutrient for your survival, basically, there, for your living there. So I think is one of those things. I think that's the environment where it replaces home, number one, and number two, there is a relationship whereby colleagues, you are friendly, and you don't really feel any you don't feel stress. You don't feel like why am I going in this place again? You don't feel like you are there for bills only, but there is something additional that is happening to you as you are in that environment. Your performance is improving, your productivity is improving, and all the time you are becoming more and more like the person you want to be. Different, because we always achieve higher. We have got higher aspirations. I think that's the kind of work environment I would aspire to. And also to look at, because of course in some companies they find that they are here in this place, but it is their company. How do they become anything that goes in? They are valuing it, and so they work so much. I mean, some companies, of course, are like some of the big companies. They may say, okay, you're going to have shares. There's some of those incentives. Or perhaps you work from home. That is also an incentive. Or some of those things. They make an environment improve, and it might not be just one formula, but having those different things that make a person love what they are doing. Experience, the experiences, there are very many experiences, as you might guess, because I've been in this workplace for quite longer than most of you here. But the experience is one of the biggest experiences, all the common experiences, is that subtle bullying, the subtle bullying of by, say, your boss or even your colleagues, and then that is a bit is kind of encouraged by others, but you cannot put a finger to it, but people are bullying you. And I got that experience in a number of places where I was. They are bullying you, but you can't come up and say, okay, this is what is happening. So it's almost like people are kind of collaborating to make your life difficult. And eventually, of course, when it is so difficult, then you just have to go. Because there are sometimes bullying, of course, is a bit, you can actually accuse you can report someone for bullying. Say here in the UK, people bully you, people can be sued for that, or you can kind of report that. However, what some people do, they do it in a very subtle way, and you find that others are collaborating. So I think that then it makes the environment very toxic, and eventually, well, it's not the best, and you just have to go. Yeah, there's some place where I was, and it was like actually the top person, he wasn't bullying, but he wasn't paying good money, and when they were not confronted, anyone who would go there and say, well, I've been here for this time, could we talk about what I get? And this person, and then the owner would say, well, I can actually, what are you doing, by the way? And then you say what you're doing, your position, and says, okay, actually I can go on the street and get the similar you. So if you want, you stay, but I'm sorry, I'm not really. And that was such a, it was such a terrible thing. Well, I can actually go on the street and replace you even tomorrow. Either you take that or I'm not talking about that. So, and that wasn't nice. So yeah, that is actually my take. As I said, this is a big topic, because the environment, we always we are making the environment that we want. It is us, and therefore we have got always to make a way. Like now, these people talks, they are so good. I mean, we talk about a number of things that are common, and I'm sure we improve. Thank you so much, Saturday. Yeah, back to you.
Thank you, James. I really appreciate your experience that you shared with us, and I really liked the thing that you said about bullying workspace. I think this is really important, that you work in a place that everyone respect you and respect your talents and your and know your value for the organization. And I think this is really important, because I think in every relationship that we have, love relationships, work relationships, family relationships, respect is the most important thing that can happen on that relationship. And I think this is really important, because it has the direct effect on your mental health, I think, because when someone is bullying you and doesn't respect you and doesn't respect your values and your talents, even if you tell yourself that it doesn't affect me, I think it actually does, because the positivity that you can get from your environment isn't something that that you can't pay attention to. And I think this is really important. Thank you for sharing. And any other words from Jessica or Noah, we would be happy to hear from you.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, so this is quite an interesting topic. Ideal work environment. So for me, I can say an ideal work environment is an environment wherein each and every one of us, there should be respectful to our diversities. You know, our diversity is what makes us to be unique. We are all ranging from different backgrounds, different environments. Take a look at our continent. These are all different places that we are coming from. So a work environment should be able to occupy us. So there should be respectful diversity, and also communication. Each and every one of us should have a free will to communicate. Should communicate to each other, and it should be freely. Just like you should know what you're trying to give out. And also it should be on a basis of a professional approach to one another. That is why we're having an ideal work. That's how we're going to have an ideal work environment. And an ideal work environment should also be an environment where there is an opportunity to grow personal development. Like, for instance, I can make an example of Moracle here. You can see each and every time that we have training, you see the notice, you see the kind of oddness, and it's all about you. But you are working, but they want you to grow again. They want you see the inspiration there for you to grow. They want you to move ahead in life. You know, if you are not thinking ahead, what are you really doing in the working environment? You can't be here like, for now I'm a training accountant. I will be a training accountant for the next 5 years. No, then it means there is no opportunity for me to grow. And you can't be let me say a training auditor also, then Moracle did not create the opportunity for you to grow. So an ideal work environment should create that opportunity, should have the opportunity for you to go to move ahead in life. Yeah, that's what makes an ideal environment. And then also an ideal environment should also should have a way. An ideal environment should have a way wherein they should treat each and every one of us equally, and equal treatment to each other. If an environment lacks that, then automatically, I don't think that's an ideal work environment, because that's the key. It's a backbone of an working environment. We are all working here, and then maybe if we are experiencing a bias of treatment, then it's not an ideal work environment. For me, I've seen such opportunities, but I will not discuss about it, because I know what is and for me, from now, I know what is a good environment and what is a bad working environment. So that's my own take on what is an ideal working environment. Thank you, Satari.
Thank you, Noah, for sharing with us. And I think that what you said about communication is really important. It's really important that you can communicate with your coworker and with your also with your manager. I think this is the one of the factors that makes an environment ideal for your job. And I just wanted to mention the last thing that came to my mind that I think we didn't mention in this discussion. One of the things that I think makes an environment great for work is the respect that manager gives you for what you are doing and your talent. And I want to specifically talk about salary and job improvement. And I think this is really important, because at the end, we are all doing of course, we are doing our job for personal growth. We are doing to feel good about ourselves, to use our knowledge and make it practical in life and help other people. All of these are true, but at the end we need to live, and we are doing a job to help us to help us to live, and we actually need the money, the salary. And I think one of the things that should be really fair to you is this, that you have the respect of your manager, and when you feel that your talent and your skills is being respected, I think you work better, and this is really important. And actually, sometimes ago, I had an job offer that it was actually a good company. It was kind of a startup, and it was the beginning of their journey, but the job offer was terrible, and when I asked the manager why it is like this, this is not fair, and it was a 3-year contract with a very low salary, and he was insisting that I want it to be 3 years because I need commitment and everything like that. And sometimes some people maybe they have to do some jobs without any respect for their talents and their skills, and I think it is the manager's responsibility, the owner of a company's responsibility to deal with this situation, that respect people, and they are human, they need this job, they need to work, they need to feel good about themselves. And it is really important when you work in an environment that the manager and the HR doesn't respect you. After a while, even if you are experiencing a good thing, you think that you are learning something, but if you don't feel respect, I think you cannot work there, and this is an important factor. And I want to thank you all for sharing your experience with us. I think this is it for today. I hope that this discussion was good for you, and you learn something. I really loved to hear your experiences, and it was great for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Satari.
Thank you, Noah.
Thank you so much, Satari. It was a great
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.